So sorry for being so late. First of all, I apologize just because of the technical defect. I could not make it on time.
It's
Well,
okay.
a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I, Dr. Meeta Shah, on behalf of proud family of DEVADITYA Foundation, extend a very warm welcome to all of you for yet another energizing session on self-transformation is the current need of the hour in the current scenario. Today's world is a world of fast changes. Though there is a significant development in the areas of scientific, economical, technological spheres, we find that people are unable to cope up with these fast changes. We all agree to that. We can see an increase of negativity in the outer world, which is visible in the form of corruption, increased crimes, disharmony, suicides, and so on. We like to change and adapt, but on the other hand, we are reluctant towards change. The reason is that there is no clarity about change. To cope up with the fast changing world, we have to bring change within ourselves. In other words, to cope up with the increase of negativity in the outer world, there has to be an increase in positivity within us. When we aim to increase positivity within us, we shall be safe from the influence of the negative around us. When this happens, we are on the path of transformation. In spiritual language, transformation means journey towards better, towards the positive, and self-transformation is the process to bring about a visible change in ourselves by changing our essential nature. And our essential nature is we are rigid. We do not want to change. So when we talk about transformation, we are basically talking about this to bring about a change in this essential nature of ours. This testing time, that is a COVID-19 period, has taken a toll over the mental and emotional health of people in general. We are firm believers of the fact that a healthy mind leads to a healthy body. Health has become our prime concern. We keep getting tips to improve our immunity and get a boost. But let me tell you that immunity can surely get a boost when we start believing in ourselves and stay strong. As you all are aware that the Devaditya Foundation Jharkhand India is dedicated towards an overall development of our acquaintances and associations. Our punchline, rise by lifting others, says it all. Keeping this in mind, we have taken this initiative today. So here I feel privileged to welcome and introduce our multi-talented guest speakers for this webinar. Well, we were supposed to have our very own Professor Aditya Lunawat with us today here, but due to certain medical emergency, he could not make it for this event. But we would surely like to uh, have a session from him in our upcoming events or upcoming initiatives. Our next speaker for the day is respected Professor Ravindra Rena Sir from South Africa. Sir is a profound academician and a distinguished scholar who has traveled over 40 countries in the world. Sir has written 10 books and 120 articles in reputed journals, more than 150 articles in newspapers, websites, and magazines. He has widely written in the areas of education, development, economics, and inclusive growth. Professor Rena is currently a professor of economics and internationalization project leader in the Northwest University, South Africa. He also serves as an adjunct professor of economics for master's and doctorate programs, Monarch Business School, Monarch University, Switzerland. It's indeed an achievement to have you here with us today, sir. I'm sure your wide international exposure will add value to our learnings. We welcome you, sir. Our next guest for the event is respected Dr. Aftab Ahmed from Dubai. He has an experience of more than 24 years in corporate management, HR consultancy, and academics. Sir has an experience of working with global brands like Samsung, Philips, Citizen, General Electric, Konica, Casio, and so on. Sir has functional expertise in entrepreneurship and business transformation, leadership and team development, human resources and market research, supply chain management, advertising, and promotion. It's a pleasure to have you with us here today, and we look forward to an enlightening session. We welcome you, sir. Our next speaker is respected Dr. Sanjay Tewari from Jabalpur. Sir has a teaching experience of 35 years. And let me tell you all over here today that he has the best profile in town when it comes to the field of commerce and management. Sir has completed 10 research projects sponsored by UGC. He has organized 10 national conferences, which is indeed an achievement, all sponsored by UGC, and one international conference. He has 34 published books on his name and more than 100 research papers published in reputed journals. He has 15 doctorates awarded with him as a guide. He is also Chairman Board of Studies, uh, Chairman Board of Commerce at Maharshi University. He is currently working at Navyuk College, Jabalpur. We are grateful to have you here with us today. We welcome you. Our last speaker for this webinar today is Engineer Pankaj Rai. Now, before I introduce him, I, on behalf of DEVADITYA Foundation, as well as all the guests and participants, wish you a very happy birthday. May God bless you with abundance and success in all your endeavors. I'm sure this webinar would be a memorable one for you, and this association with DEVADITYA Foundation would be for lifetime because it's on such an auspicious day that we got connected. Sir is an international trainer, motivator, author, and he is a regular contributor of articles for the very prestigious Times of India. He's a counselor and PRO with the legendary BSNL. The best part about him, which connects people to him, is that he is just not a preacher. He practices what he preaches. I find this a rare combination. We feel honored to have you here with us today. I'm sure this session will take us on a journey from where we are to where we should be. We welcome you. Before we begin this event formally, I also wish to introduce the mind behind the conceptualization, planning, and putting in efforts for this webinar. Our very own Mr. Indra Bhuvan Kumar Singh from Tanzania. He is a CEO at METL, mentor, coach, and entrepreneur trainer. He has over 15 years of experience. Sir also has a book entitled The New Ways of Self-Transformation on his name. So he feels closely associated with this topic of the webinar. This is your event, sir. And I extend a very warm, hearty welcome to you. Last but not the least, the backbone behind this webinar, who has an active role right from initiation to completion, and even after in the form of certificates preparation. I welcome our technical coordinator, very positive, helpful, and jovial because he's always smiling, always ready to help us out. Our very own Professor Makhan Kumbhkar from Christian Eminent College, Indore. He is technical advisor for CEPRD and GFRAD. He has given his valuable contribution for more than 78 webinars during this lockdown period, which is credible for sure. And thank you for being with us here today, sir. Now over to Indra Bhuvan Kumar Singh, sir, to give his welcome speech and throw light on DEVADITYA Foundation, and then mark the beginning of this webinar by inviting our first speaker to make us witness an amazing, life-changing session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mitaji, for this wonderful introduction of all our eminent speakers. And once again, thanks to all of you and my audiences for this session. Before start with this session, I would like to pay my heartiest thanks to all my eminent guest speakers who accepted my this invitation in very short notice time. So that's really appreciable, and lots of thanks from my bottom of heart. Regarding this session, Devaditya Foundation. This foundation recently formed in this year only from the Bokaro City, Jharkhand. This name Devaditya stands for Lord Aditya, or which in called Lord Sun. Sun represents source of energy, source of light, and Sun represents the purity of soul, truth, stability, and positivity. So why we named this foundation Devaditya? That is the reason. We want to represent the purity. We want to represent the positivity, which is we all feel the need of an hour. What is the aim of this foundation? Overall community development. Community development through self-awareness and self-development. And what is the objective? Objective is overall socio-economic development of children under the special needs. When I am telling special needs, means these are the children, they have certain types of, we can say, like disabilities. In special needs coming autistic children, autism we can say, like CP, cerebral palsy, learning disabilities, MD. So all sort of these things comes under special needs children. And we want to create complete ecosystem for this kind of special needs children under the one roof, where they can be benefited or facilitated. That is which we feel as a foundation family, which our current children, they need it very badly. They require it. What is the mission of this foundation? Complete integration of education and health sector for betterment, for the upliftment of this kind of children. Because these two things come together, then we can create a proper ecosystem for their upliftment. And the vision of our Devaditya Foundation family to break the orthodox thought of society and social isolation. I am very sorry to say, but if you see, it's very natural, it's very common in society. If we see some sort of disabled children or mentally retarded children or autistic children, our perception become changed. We are trying to escape or we are trying to avoid, which I think so personally. We should not adopt such kind of approach. It's not good because every children is special. Every children has their own abilities and capabilities. They can change the world. Every person has their own talent. So we should have respect for each other. They should be motivated. They should be encouraged in spite of degrading or ignoring. So we have to change our mindset. We have to change our perception. It's all about thought process, all about negative to positive, which this session is called today. Self-transformation is the need of the hour. So transformation himself is a very tedious process. It's not like an overnight journey or overnight process. It takes time. Even in my books, which I wrote recently, it's very common. If you go through my book, I didn't write any special things in that book. It's a part of our life. And we all know what is self-transformation. But why it is important right now in current scenario? Because the current pandemic, especially COVID-19, they have forced us, they have molded us to change according to time. Because even today also, what we are doing this webinar, nobody thought for such kind of arrangement in the past. We all believe in physical meetings, calling seminars for meetings. But because of this current pandemic, we all post for this kind of online webinars. So this is also one sort of opportunity. So we should take this as an opportunity. So these all things leads to create room for self-transformation, self-actualization. And this all today's session is on the relevant topic, self-transformation. I will not take you too much time. And now I would like to invite my speaker, Professor Rana sir, for his valuable speech and his thought process on this current topic. What is exactly this self-transformation in his opinion? So, Professor Dr. Rana sir, please welcome, and we would like to hear from your wonderful, rich experience. What is this self-transformation in your eyes?
Well, good afternoon, colleagues from different corners of the world, especially our young colleague, dynamic, intellectual CEO of a big company in Tanzania, Indrabhavan Singh Ji. Thank you very much for inviting me for this wonderful forum. And I also would like to acknowledge the event organizers, DEVADITYA Foundation, JHARKHAND, India. I also would like to acknowledge my fellow colleagues and friends who are also sitting in the forum, particularly Dr. Sanjay Tewari ji, Professor of Commerce from Jabalpur, and Dr. Ramita Shahji. Thank you for giving that wonderful introduction about me and the rest of the speakers. And we got colleagues, Professor Makan and Engineer Pankaj. So it is indeed a great honor and privilege for me to be part of this great intellectuals sitting here to share some of our views about an excellent idea that Indrabhavan ji and the organizers have chosen, self-transformation need of the hour in the current scenario. So what is this self-transformation? What an individual needs to do to transform himself or herself. Ladies and gentlemen, I just would like to share some of my thoughts with you. that human body is a very complex system. Nobody can understand it. Human body has got 50 trillion cells in us. And every cell in our body has got a power of 1.4 watts of energy. So you multiply. It's a simple calculation. 50 times 1.4, it is absolutely equal to 70 trillion watts of power that we human beings have got inside us. But unfortunately, most of us, we do not know that we are that powerful. So that is why we could see somebody who is growing, who is becoming so great, successful, and we congratulate, we try to applaud and appreciate, we give the claps, but we don't realize what we have inside us. So ladies and gentlemen, human body is such a unique personality. Every one of us, we got 7.8 billion people across the globe. Every one of us, we are unique on our own. That is why if you put the thumb impression of Indra Bhavanji and mine or Mita Shahji or other colleagues will not match. Why? Because we are unique. So we begin to think that the whole world should look beautiful for us. Our houses must look beautiful for us. Our dresses that we wear, our children, our families must look beautiful for us. But we don't care how we can contribute to make our planet, our environment beautiful. We are all educated people. What we think is that somebody else will come, IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change, or United Nations, or America, or probably UK, India, China, Indonesia, they come forward, they try to put their hands together to clean this planet. Nothing is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Every one of us are equally responsible. We need to, if you want to keep your house clean, neat, stunning, beautiful, you must keep your planet also beautiful. So we all have got the responsibility. We all got the duty to clean whatever mess, whether it is created by you, by others, we must try to join our hands. Ladies and gentlemen, we all talk about handsome. When you are looking handsome, then we are happy, we are feeling proud. You don't need to be handsome, ladies and gentlemen. We all got hands. These hands can help someone. So we have the ability, we got the power, we got the energy. As I mentioned, 70 trillion watts of energy that we have. We all can contribute immensely for the betterment of our human lives and the planet in general. So ladies and gentlemen, let us not wait whether somebody is coming, Prime Minister Modi ji is coming and clean our probably Swachh Bharat. Swachh Bharat cannot come like that. We got 1.3 billion people in the country. If we do not take the responsibility to clean ourselves, to clean our cities, our villages, and Modi cannot do anything, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a simple fact. If we do not act, if we do not take the responsibility, if we do not take the ownership of what we are doing, we cannot make any kind of changes in this world. As Indra Bhavanji and the previous speakers, they mentioned about the importance that you need to change yourself. Nobody is going to change you. That's why there is a saying that you can take a horse to the water, but you cannot make her to drink. We have read so much in this technological world, in this IoT, Internet of Things. Everything is available in our hand, ladies and gentlemen. What is good, what is bad, you don't need to go and ask somebody else. Even if you got a medical problems, you can check yourself. What is the best thing that you can do to rectify your own problems? So we all think about some things will happen, some miracle will happen. No miracle will happen. You are the miracle yourself, ladies and gentlemen. You have to create that miracle. So we are living with an illusion where we always blame somebody. We never blame about ourselves. We need to blame about ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. So since we are human beings, since we are complex people, since we have the talent, energy, and the power in us, we can do great things for the society and for the nation, for the world in general, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you few cases here. We do have our former president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalamji, our Bharat Ratna and the Missile Man of India. We all know that he come from a fisherman family, a poorer subsistence agricultural farmer and a fisherman. That's the family he come from. They do not have any luxury that most of us are enjoying here today. But they never give up because hope is considered to be the poor man bread. Early morning, he was getting up and then he was taking a bicycle. He was trying to distribute the newspapers, ladies and gentlemen, those days. And you can imagine the situation. 1931, October 15th, this month only, he was born. About 2 weeks ago, he celebrated 89th birthday. Such a humble background, such a simple background. Most of our people in India, no matter India is the 6th largest economy in the world, doesn't matter, but a common man in India is having a destitute life. We are the people who are contributing about 300 million people living below poverty line and also with illiteracy and so many other socio-economic problems. So we can take the classic example of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalamji, that he was a man who raised from that level, from a fisherman community where he was a newspaper vendor boy to a president of a nation. So what is holding us back, ladies and gentlemen? What is the journey that he passed through? We can take any number of examples, ladies and gentlemen. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji was also a chai wala. He was selling tea. He was cleaning as an RSS worker. He was cleaning the floors. So from such a background, he became the most powerful man in the world, ladies and gentlemen, today. How? Because of the self-transformation, self-discipline, self-motivation, and developing a positive attitude for everything that we do. We always see in our world, more than the positivity, we can see the negativity. 95% wherever you go, whatever you do, we all face challenges, ladies and gentlemen. But that's not the end of the life. We always get no, no, not yes for anything and everything that we do. So no is nothing but it's a next opportunity. If somebody said no to you today, there is a next opportunity awaiting for us, ladies and gentlemen. If we think that this is the end of the story, there is no story ends. It is your hope that can continue. And end, effort never dies, ladies and gentlemen. So all these positive things, APJ Abdul Kalamji has written so many things, and so many philosophers across the globe, even our Indra Bhavanji also written, don't worry, be a warrior, don't be a worrier. So all these beautiful quotes, they're freely available in the Internet of Things today. How many of us we could able to learn, understand, absorb, and transform ourselves towards that kind of journey? Those are the people that are successful. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I just would like to mention that every one of us, we got talent. If somebody is successful, somebody become CEO or a president of a nation or a prime minister of a nation, you as a common man, you are not somebody. You're not good for nothing. You are something. You can always create something for yourself. So we need to transform, we need to motivate ourselves. There are a lot of people, they are living out of 7.8 billion people in this world, more than 1.2 billion people, they have mental problems. They are not physically they look, they are fit, but mentally they are not fit enough actually. They are emotionally weak, psychologically they are weak, and eventually they're mentally disordered people. So imagine the situation: for every 8 people in the world or every 6 people in the world, one person is mentally not fit actually. Why? Because we think too much, we do too little, and we expect a lot of things, and we don't do anything to meet those targets. Then how are we going to change ourselves? So if we begin to talk different cases of across the globe, Barack Obama was a very ordinary, very simple person, ladies and gentlemen. He also come from a very pathetic situations himself, and such a background that he had. He always, with a courage in his heart, he always wants to move forward to achieve something great. He never looked back again. He always looked forward. So with that background, he could become the president of such a richest nation in the whole world, which has become the largest economy in the world for more than 150 years, ladies and gentlemen. And he became the first black president of the country. He has shown to the world that everything is possible in this world if you are persistent, if you could able to exert your efforts in the right direction. And he has shown to the world that yes, it is possible. Yes, we can do that. That's what he has shown. Even if you take the Dhirubhai Ambani ji, father of Mukesh Ambani and father of Anil Ambani ji, he also got he has a small beginning. And with a small beginning, he could able to develop himself, where before he dies, ladies and gentlemen, he became a man of value in terms of corporate sector, in terms of the business. He, as a single person or a single businessman, could able to contribute more than 3% of the total income of India, ladies and gentlemen. He has started a shop in probably a country called Yemen, close to Red Sea. So that is the kind of people that they worked very hard throughout their life, systematically discipline themselves, and then try to achieve one by one. As we all know that New Delhi or Bombay or Hyderabad or Chennai, Calcutta, Ahmedabad, Jharkhand was not built in one night, as Indra Bhavanji indicated earlier. We are sitting here, we were not born just like this. It has taken so much time for us to reach this level, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Mita Shah, she spent a lot of time to become a doctor. She worked hard for it. So then nothing is easy, and nothing is just comes on your own way and you grab and you enjoy it. Nothing like that. We all must work hard for that. So the world has been becoming an unequal place, but nonetheless, all the challenges that we have today in the world, no challenge should make you disappointed, depressed. And every challenge that you face today or tomorrow or in the years to come, every challenge, every problem must be converted as a stepping stone for you to move on to the right direction, and therefore you'll be successful. A successful man, nothing but you earn millions or billions of rupees or dollars for you to become successful, but you should become a man or a woman of value. Whatever you do, you create value, you add value to it. Politicians, we have seen so many politicians, Sarpanch category or Mandal president category or probably Jilla Parishad category presidents or MLAs and MLCs, member of parliaments, ministers in different states of India and the country, federal government in the country. In no time, if you want to become a millionaire or a billionaire, you become a politician. So this is become a kind of normal phenomenon for the people of India and people of other developing countries. Why that should be? We should question ourselves. Who is giving the power to them to become like that? They are there to lead us, but they are ruling us. They are not leading us, but they are ruling us on the other side, ladies and gentlemen. And they are trying to steal the money that we, as citizens of the country, who are working hard with our blood and sweat, and we are paying the taxes for every single cent that is being spent by the government anywhere in the world. It is the citizens. We are the ones who are paying for that, ladies and gentlemen. If we begin to have the debts, if the government is taking the debt, it is we are going to pay for the debts. If you look at the price of petrol in India, we pay for close to 90 rupees for 1 liter petrol. But actual price of that petrol is not even half of it, ladies and gentlemen. It's only about 33, 34 rupees of the price of the petrol, whereas you add state taxes about 31, 32 rupees for that. About 16 to 17 rupees you add central government taxes, and the vendor who is providing the service, he add another 6 or 7 rupees as his commission. This is what is happening. But there is no transparency. Nothing is shown to the people that this is how the breakdown price structure has been made. So we are trying to experience this kind of problem. If they spend Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, hundreds and billions of rupees are being spent on that. Who is paying for that? It is we are paying for that, nobody else. So ladies and gentlemen, the governments across many nations in the world, they are depending upon the foundations of the bricks. We all know that bricks is used for the construction purposes here, ladies and gentlemen. But the same brick is hurting the nations and the human beings in this world. The reason is that India is one of the BRICS nations. We all know whenever we hear about the BRICS, BRICS, we think about Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, in a country where I am sitting here. So these are the only 5 nations. They formed this BRICS concept and the BRICS association. So, but the BRICS, how the BRICS is harming the people instead of becoming a foundation for the construction of building. Ladies and gentlemen, the first B stands for bribery. R stands for robbery. I stands for incompetency. And C stands for corruption. And S stands for none other than scandals, ladies and gentlemen. How many scandals that we have in India, and how many people were brought into the court of rule of law, and how many people were imprisoned and punished for that, ladies and gentlemen. If you look at the common man who are sitting in the jails during their lifetime, life imprisonment, who are the people sitting in the jail, ladies and gentlemen? You can go and ask the Director General of Jail Prison Services in the country. They're all common men, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if a common man is sitting, whereas the Karodpati, being a professor or being a CEO, Indra Bhavanji, and there are a lot of other great stalwarts sitting here with us, we work hard during our lifetime. We never became Karodpatis. A politician jumps into politics, in no time he became Karodpati. How that is possible, ladies and gentlemen? A minister and a cabinet minister and a professor in India, they should get almost the same salaries, ladies and gentlemen. So this is what we need to, the BRICS, we all need to fight against that, ladies and gentlemen. Governments will come and go. Political parties will come and go. If somebody is in power today, they will not be in power tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. That is the notion. That's what we understand. The history has proven that. It is the land of the country remains forever. It is the governance structures remains. It is the people or the generations that remains. We all will be leaving this world in about 50 to 70 years' time. None of us will survive here. But it is our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, they should have the better life, ladies and gentlemen. So who has to transform that? It is none other than you as an individual during your lifetime. So in the interest of time, I think I would like to conclude my session stating that a flute, if you look at the flute, a flute has got a lot of holes and it has a lot of space, vacuum inside. When we look at that, we will see the negative person will think that this flute has got a lot of holes and it is empty inside. But the moment when you are begin to play with those holes, then you are going to create a beautiful melody, ladies and gentlemen. So life is also just like that. It is all depends upon how you as an individual could able to play with the flute and create a melodious voice. So every one of us, we can able to do something good, not only for yourself, but for your society, but for your nation, but for world in general. So let us be good. Let us do something good for our nation. And let us transform ourselves. No matter what challenges that you face today, a darkness will remain only for 15 days. And lightness will also remain for 15 days. Nothing is permanent. It keeps on changing its cycles. So with that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank the conference organizers, DEVADITYA Foundation, for giving me this opportunity to share some of my views with you this evening. And Indra Bhavanji, thank you very much. Mitaji and other speakers, thank you very much. It is indeed a great honor for me to be part of this program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this energizing session. It was truly an energizing session, and moreover, it was motivational. And it will motivate us to think of transformation, and we'll definitely try to bring about a change in ourselves. The best part about your session was the examples that you have quoted. They were really the ones with which we could connect to. And this flute example is the one that I would remember forever. Thank you so much for your presence, this session, and we look forward to having a session from you again, sir. Then now I would like to invite our next speaker for the day, Dr. Aftab Ahmed, sir, from Dubai. And we welcome you, sir, and over to you, sir, for the session. We are here to learn from your experiences now.
Aftab Thank you very Ahmed, much. Sir. Thank you very much, Dr. Meeta. Thank you very much, Mr. Indra Bhavan, for inviting me here. It was a very profound speech by Dr. Ravindra Rana, and we learned a lot from you, sir. Thank you very much for it. The topic, what we have got to speak today, is one of the most important topic of life. हमें जिंदगी सिर्फ एक बार मिलती है. We get only one life. And to have a good life, a successful life, we have to really see how we can change it. I will start my talk with a famous saying of Rumi, तुम हड्डियां और गोश्त हो, तुम हड्डियां और मांस हो, इसके अलावा अगर इसको हटा दिया जाए तो तुम्हारी सोच है. You are nothing but bones and flesh. Remaining thing is your thought. We are what we think. We are shaped by our thoughts. So we have to really transform our thoughts. And it's not an easy thing. Transforming a complete personality is divided into 4 things: your physicality, your intellect, your emotions, and your spirituality. Now, I will speak on physicality in the end because we have heard a lot about it, but let's see what is intellect. Intellect is one of the most important thing, we human beings have been bestowed by Almighty. Janwaro, maybe animals also has little bit of intellect, but they don't have a memory, nor they have imagination. We human beings have both. We have imagination as well as memory. But both of these things, they are a big problem to us. They are like a double-edged sword. If we are living in past with bad memories, we can spoil our future. And if we are living with, you may say, negative imaginations, fears, हमें डर लगता है, that we are going to, I know what will be the future, what could be the jobs, what could be the employments, what could be the health. So we are living, you know, in a constant phase of, you may say, wrong imaginations and negative feelings. So the most important thing what we must do is that, you know, we have imbibed from the past. हम लोगों का सुनते आते हैं, you know, our parents, our friends, they say, don't do this, do that. You know, that person is not good, he is good. So unconsciously हम अपने दिमाग में, you know, we are keep on building negative things, and as a result we have two kind of attitudes. One, we have, you may say, earning attitude. Another is learning attitude. The important part we should understand here is this, that the earning attitude is basically for the materialistic things. हमें दुनिया के अंदर क्या कमाना है, गाड़ी लेना है, मोबाइल लेना है, घर लेना है. You know, we are always into this. But at the same time, another thing is we have learning attitude. If we try to improve a learning attitude, like अगर मैं सच बोलूं, मैं चोरी ना करूं, you know, I should do something great for the society, मैं किसी से जलूं नहीं, I should make good relationships, मैं ईमानदार रहूं. So these are the things which we have to change as learning attitudes, because earning attitude is more of the materialistic things. Another thing which, how we can improve our intellect, this is very important. We can improve our intellect, you know, it's not a difficult thing, by focus. You know, every religion in this world has taught us. We can focus through meditation, of course, through prayers. And the thing is, suppose we are meditating, the most important thing which I feel, we must ask Almighty God, परमात्मा से हमें ये कहना चाहिए, you know, कि मैं इस दुनिया में जिस नेक काम के लिए आया हूँ, वो नेक काम मुझसे हो जाए. You know, if I have come in this world, मैं 10 लोगों को, 100 लोगों को, 50 लोगों को employment पे लगा के चला जाऊं. You know, this is how we can basically improve our intellect. We can improve our thought process. You know, there's a saying, we are what we think, we are shaped by our thoughts. तो जिंदगी जो होती है, मैं सोक्रेटिस का एक बहुत अच्छा जुमला स्टेटमेंट जो है, कोट जो है, वो ये है कि दुनिया में दो तरह के लोग होते हैं. एक वो जो अपनी गलती से सुधर जाते हैं, ट्रांसफॉर्म हो जाते हैं, और दूसरे वो होते हैं जो दूसरों की गलतियां देख के बदल जाते हैं. That person is a genius. So if we do some mistakes in our life, you know, we should try to improvise it. Another thing is this, that if more intelligent, more genius person is this, that if he sees the mistakes of others, he should transform himself. This is very important. So the first thing I have discussed with you is about the intellect, which we have discussed about the memory and imagination, which we have been restored. The second thing is हमारे emotions. You know, emotions are very important things. What we are, you know, thinking this time, उसका जो reflection है, जो उसका साया है, the shadow of that thought is the emotion. Now, this could be negative or this could be positive. The thing is, if we are, you know, living with negative emotions throughout our life, then we will land up in big problems. So how we can avoid these, you know, negative emotions? The way for transforming our emotions is really difficult, but we have to see हम किस में बैठ रहे हैं, हमारा circle कैसा है, what kind of books we are reading, what kind of news we are reading, what kind of things we are listening. You know, there's a saying, we are the average. I am the average of my 5 best friends whom we are sitting. मैं 5 लोगों का average हूँ जिसके साथ मैं बैठता हूँ. मेरी intellect, मेरा सोचने का तरीका, my thinking, my imaginations is an average of 5 people whom I'm sitting. I don't say we don't sit with, you know, all kind of people. We should sit, but our core group should be with those who are, you know, giving us right directions. There's a very famous saying, you know, which we say, like, अगर खुदा ईश्वर परमात्मा आपसे खुश होता है तो वो आपको अच्छे लोगों से जोड़ता है. ये एक निशानी है. और the thing is, if your God, your Almighty is happy with you, then you will be surrounded with good people. The thing is, if you want to make your emotions changed, you have to work hard on it. You cannot do just, you know, just like thinking, but you have to really change your circle. You have to be in such kind of society, I must say, such kind of circles, most probably, that, you know, you get good positive vibes from them. Because it's a matter of energy, what we, you know, see and live in. Another thing which is your spirituality, which we have to change to transform our personality. Now, what is spirituality? Hum is dunya mein kyun aaye? Why we have come in this world? What is the purpose of us to come in this world? This is the most important thing which we have to see and ask ourselves. Now, for example, there's a man who says, I have been born and brought up in a family which is very poor. If I become doctor, engineer, or IAS, what I will do? I will going to make a big house. I will going to marry my sisters in a best way. I will going to help my father. I will going to do something good. I'll buy a car. Another person is this. What he says, if I become doctor, I'll going to make one of the best hospitals in my village, where women will not going to die during the time of delivery. I want to make a school, a college, a university. Now, both of these people are not wrong. The first one is also right, but the level of spirituality of the first one is a bit low. The person who is second, who is thinking in a different way, his spirituality is on the higher side. So we have to really think. We have to do an introspection, like हमारा जिंदगी में आने का objective क्या है? Now, the thing is, if you see the West world, secondly, I would like to say that there should be, first of all, the objective of a life, which we should know. Another thing should be, we should not bind it with a time frame to change our spirituality. If we are binding it with a time frame, or wo khatam ho gayi, then what next? तुझे पाना मेरा जीने का मकसद है, तुझे पा लिया तो फिर क्या करूंगा? If I want to do something and my objective is finished, then what next? So it should not be time bound. I want to do a great thing in life. I want to keep on helping the human society. So in that thing, a purpose of life, our spirituality has to be very strong. So number one is your intellect. Number two is your emotions. Number three is your spirituality. And of course, the fourth thing, which is we call physicality. Now, this is also a very important thing, because nowadays, what we are eating, exercising, your sleep, and your stress-free life. These are the most important things which we have to see in a physicality. हम ज़्यादा खाते हैं, खराब खाते हैं, time में नहीं खाते हैं, ये भी है. Exercise, how much we do, we know. Number three is sleep. The sleep pattern of younger generation, it is going haywire. It is going, we all know, like what time most of the younger generation is sleeping and what time I'm getting up. So the thing is, another thing is your sleep, and you have to be stress-free. Now, when you make all these four things, and you have to work hard, like as I told you, number one is your intellect, number two is your emotions, and number three is spirituality and physicality. Now, if we want to make a life happy and we want to contribute to the society, we have to make some kind of objectives and goals in life. हमें अपनी जिंदगी में आदर्श बहुत ऊंचे और अच्छे बनाना चाहिए. देखिए, मैं आपको पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग ही सब कुछ नहीं होती. We have to take a positive action as well. This is very important. It's an incomplete sentence if we say, I'm only thinking positive. I have to take positive actions to do something great in the society. I have read somewhere, which I always try to say whenever, I'm on such kind of forums. अगर मुझे कल पता चल जाए कि मैं मरने वाला हूं, तो मैं एक फलदार पेड़ लगाऊंगा. अगर मुझे पता चल जाए कि कल ये दुनिया खत्म होने वाली है, तो मैं एक फलदार पेड़ लगाऊंगा. सब्जी नहीं लगाऊंगा. गोभी का फूल तो 15-20 दिन, 1 महीने में बन जाता है, लेकिन ऐसा दरख्त जो बाद में फल दे. एंड नाउ द थिंग इज, ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, वी ओनली गेट वन लाइफ. हमें एक ही जिंदगी मिलती है, एंड इन दिस लाइफ वी हैव टू डू रियली ग्रेट थिंग्स. जैसे मैंने कहा कि बस अगर हम यही सोचें, सोने से पहले अगर हम यही प्रार्थना करें परमात्मा से कि मैं इस दुनिया में जिस नेक काम के लिए आया हूं, कम से कम 100 लोगों का रोजगार लगा के चला जाऊं, 50 लोगों का रोजगार लगा के चला जाऊं. Even if we are praying these things, it will going to make a big difference, because जब तक हम will not going to ask, will not going to get. This is a very important thing. Thank you very much, Mr. Undra Bhavan. Thanks for inviting me. Because we are running out of time, we can speak for a longer time some other day. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much, Dr. Meeta Shah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful session. This session has surely given us a direction and has motivated us to decide a purpose for our for our future. And the four words that you concentrated upon, that is intellect, emotions, spirituality, and physicality. So these are the words that we need to keep in mind and we need to work upon it. Thank you so much for such a wonderful session. Now I would like to invite our next speaker for the session, Dr. Sanjay Tewari, sir, from Jabalpur. Over to you, sir. Dr. Sanjay Tewari.
मैम नेक्स्ट स्पीकर को ले लीजिए, अभी सर शायद अवेलेबल नहीं है.
अच्छा, नेक्स्ट स्पीकर को ले लूं सर. Now I would like to invite our next speaker, Engineer Pankaj Rai from Jabalpur. Over to you, sir.
Makhan sir, kindly share the screen of Mr. Pankaj Rai sir.
Yes sir, yes.
You want to do some PowerPoint presentation? I think can make you audible.
Am I audible?
Yes sir, yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. A special thank to Indra Bhavan sir, for Aditya Foundation sir, Dr. Meeta ma'am, Dr. Raina sir, Aftab sir, Sanjay Tewari sir, and all the persons who are behind this such kind of international self-transformation workshop. My basic objective of today's sessions, as the previous speaker has already talked about a lot, how to transform. My basic question is how self-transformation start and how I can transform myself. And this is our basic objective of today's sessions. But before to start, my objective is it should not be a theoretically knowledge gaining session. In just 15 or 20 minutes, I would like you that you should have some sort of experience, because you have a lot of knowledge, but until your knowledge transforms into experience, it does not come out the real wisdom. So we have to come out from the wisdom. Knowledge, we have everything. Means Google is having everything, all sort of knowledge you can have. But until you don't transform your knowledge into your practical day-to-day life, and this is the right time, this moment is the right time when you can transform your knowledge into experience. And once knowledge joined together with the experience, it comes out as the real wisdom, and wisdom transform your life. So I request all of the audience, be present physically as well as mentally. This is the first condition to have some sort of experience. If you are present physically, mentally absent, you cannot gain the knowledge and you cannot incorporate in part of your experience. And second most important thing, as part of self-hypnosis, as part of NLP, try to regulate your breath. Just try to regulate your breath. Just make it a little bit more deep and slow, and try to keep your back straight if it is possible. So these three conditions, you will gain the real experience. Try to be present physically, mentally. Try to regulate your breath, because breath is the bridge between your body and mind. Breathe is the bridge between your body and mind. If your breath is stable, you are present. If your breath is unstable, you may be mentally absent. So try to regulate your breath as much as possible to gain some sort of experience. And this is why this session is basically 3 to 4 things are important if you would like to take jump out of the box, that you need energy. As previous speakers already talked about, everything in this world is a form of energy. Energy neither can be created nor can be destroyed, but it can be converted from one form to another form. So you need to have positive energy. When you are angry, your energy is negative. When you are happy, your energy is positive. When you are joyous, peaceful, compassionate, coordinative, supportive, motivated, your energy is positive. But if you are angry, frustrated, irritated, full of greed, lust, anger, your energy is negative. So your transformation is possible up to energy level. As Rana sir has already talked, we have more than 8 billion neurons in our mind. We carry a small universe inside us. Everything is energy. And that energy transforms either matter or energy. So if you want to transform your energy, you have to put effort. And that effort has to be mindful effort. Means you have to be present. You have to live in the moment. Because you create your future by giving your best in your present. So if you are giving your best in this present, if you put all your effort with totality, because you can never be perfect, but you can be total. So if you are total with your effort, then your effort transforms into your mindful effort, and then you get success. So you need motivation. So right from the starting, what you are as a human being, we are not just the body, as Aftab sir has already told, because someone has said, we are the combination of body, mind, and consciousness energy. So body is a part of matter, and your consciousness is a part of energy. And mind is very good instrument which help you to transform. Mind, we are not the mind, but we need the kind of mind which can help us to transform our life. And to understand is much better that we need to understand the difference between our brain and mind. Because if you understand your brain, you can understand, then definitely we can talk about, like, as we are all sitting in front of computers, and it is having basic two function. One is hardware and another is software. Brain is like as our hardware, and mind is kind of software. And change is only permanent. So are you upgrading your software according to the environmental changes? Are you upgrading your software according to the situation? Are you upgrading your software according to the environmental conditions? If your answer is yes, then definitely you are changing, you are growing. And once your mind is present, the moment you become present in present, you immediately transform up to higher level of consciousness. And my dear friends, I would like to give you a very simple formula to transform your energy up to higher state, or you can say positive. It's very simple. We all are energy. And the moment you become unaware in this particular moment, your energy transforms into negativity. And the moment you become aware in this present moment, you transform your energy into positive energy, creative energy. So many times your energy can be creative, so many times your energy can be destructive. It depends upon what your skills are, what you carry in this particular moment. क्योंकि किसी ने कहा है ना कि मुश्किलें, चुनौतियां, कठिनाइयां, परेशानियां, दिक्कतें तो हर एक के जीवन में आती हैं, लेकिन कुछ निखर जाते हैं तो कुछ बिखर जाते हैं। और निखरना और बिखरना इस बात पर निर्भर करता है कि आपकी तैयारी कितनी है, how much aware you are in this particular moment, what energy you carry in this particular moment, what creativity do you have in this moment. So right now, if you are listening, right now, if you are present with me, right now, if you are connected to with me physically as well as mentally, you are aware. And once you become aware, you become creative. The possibility of committing mistake reduces if you are aware. Suppose you are driving, and if you are aware, the possibility of getting accident is minimum. But the moment you become unaware, mentally absent, your energy transforms into negativity. For example, the moment you get angry, you become a little bit unconscious. The moment you get frustrated, irritated, you are not present in present. So that is one of the very basic formulas, so simple, which can incorporate in our day-to-day life to transform our energy into positivity, transform our energy into higher dimensions. Very simple, what you have to do, because we are talking about how to transform our energy. Very simple. Whatsoever you do since morning to evening, just bring a little bit change to change your life. Be creative. Anything which makes you unconscious, change its pattern. Anything which makes you unconscious, change, bring creativity into it. For example, if you are a right-handy person, your left brain is more active. If you are a left-handy person, your right brain is more active. Since so many years you are brushing your teeth with right hand, change the pattern, use left hand. If you Google it, if you are brushing your teeth with the left hand, your neuron growth increases because you change the pattern. You become creative. You do the things differently. And the moment you change your pattern, you do the things differently, you become aware about things. And this is what we call self-aware. So if you are not self-aware, you are not going to change your life. If you are not self-aware, you are not going to transform your life. Self-awareness is the key. Self-awareness is the root. Because if you don't know what you are, then how you can transform others? Because any transformation starts with individual being. You cannot change the world if you are not changed yourself. Because the world is inside out. Whatsoever you talk, whatsoever you preach, if you're not living it, it's useless. It's not going to change your life. So make the experience. Make the experience. Whatsoever knowledge you use, make it part of your experience. And the very simple things, as we program our software through programming languages and code, your mind is being programmed through your thoughts and emotions. One of the parts which Aftab sir has covered is emotions. Emotion is energy in motions. What kind of energy you carry, whether it's positive or negative, when it comes into motion, it brings out of your emotions. Your thoughts, whether your thoughts are positive or negative, I'll show you a very beautiful slides which describe how you make your persona transforms, which is your part of personality. Your mind is that software which is full of thoughts. So if you are able to watch your own thoughts, you are self-aware. If you are able to watch your own emotions, you are self-aware. If you are able to watch your own actions, if you are able to watch your own habit, if you are able to watch yourself, what you are, the very instant transformation starts. And I'll show you this beautiful picture which will explain exactly how the transformation can start instantly. This is what we call mindfulness. This is what we call full of mind. These two girls are roaming in the garden. The girl who is on the right side, she is physically and mentally present in the garden. The girl who is on the left side, physically present in the garden, but mentally absent. And the moment you are physically somewhere and mentally somewhere, this is the root cause of generating stress. This is the root cause of generating fear, anxiety, because all sort of stress, guilt, fear, sadness, misery, it originated in your mind, which we call software, and it starts through your thoughts. And if you succeed in changing your thoughts, if you succeed in changing your emotions, you transform your life, and it don't take millions of years, hundreds of years. Instantly, in this particular moment, in this very moment, if you are physically and mentally connected to me, if you are listening to me, you are mindful, and in this very particular moment, you feel motivated, you feel charged, you feel energized, because your mind is not wavering, your mind is present. And the moment you become total, you create your future out from this particular moment. So my humble request to all of you, try to bring your totality. Whatsoever you do, don't do it from your heart. You might have seen so many times a singer is singing on a song, performing on a stage. So many times they close their eyes, tears coming from their eyes. Totally, a singer, the moment he becomes a song, he transforms. A dancer who is performing on the stage, if he totally involved with the process of dancing, he transforms himself. If a speaker is totally speaking from the heart, he forget, no thought can arise in his mind. A painter who is painting dedicatedly with totality, he get transformed immediately. So transformation can be instantly if you are total with your effort, which I have shown in the very first slide. Your effort should be mindful effort, 100% effort. Effort should be total, because without totality, you cannot transform. And the moment you shift yourself from full of mind to mindful, immediately you get transformed. Immediately you available with the present. Immediately you get available with the situation, what is there inside you, And that is what the real wisdom, that is what the real creativity, and that is what we call real intelligence. Your intelligence quotient is depend how much you are available physically and mentally with the particular situation. So, gentlemen, this is what I talked about. What 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 the situation we can bring for real transformation. Now, next 5 minutes, I'll talk about what you have to do, what you have to do as an individual to transform your life, what kind of changes you have to bring in your life to really change your life. So this is what we have already discussed. Now, this is one of the fundamental thing which we talk. Right now is the real time which is always with you. And here is the real space which you carry, which is quite related to Einstein's times and space relativity phenomena. If you are right now and right here, you are mindful. But if you are physically available in a particular space but mentally absent, you are nowhere. So you have to transform your life from nowhere to now here. From nowhere to now here. Someone has said, "No, good, better, best. Never let it rest till your good become better and better become best." You have to be total. You have to be total with your time, and you have to be total with your space which you occupy. And this is what our mind is. 10% conscious and 90% unconscious. And this unconscious brings a lot of miserability inside us, which decides why we behave so rational. So how much you are available in particular moment, how much conscious you are, how much intellectual you are, this is basically transform your life. So your state of mind is very important thing. So first important thing, how much self-aware you are. If you are self-aware, your transformation immediately, instantly starts. Second thing, you have to check what is your state of mind. Can you watch your mind or not? Keeps on asking questions from yourself. What is your state of mind? Where am I? Whatsoever I'm doing, whether it is true or false, whether I'm on right path or wrong path. And one of the most important thing which this picture describes, whatsoever personality you carry, whatsoever kind of habit you carry, how does it form? This is a life cycle of a tree. If I want to root it out this tree, it's very difficult when its roots are deeply inside the earth. But if I want to root it out, it's very easy at its initial stage. Similarly, anything which you do, starts from a subtle feeling. That feeling transforms into form of thoughts. Those thoughts transform into form of words, and that words sometimes actions. And when you repeat a particular action, it becomes part of your habit. You cultivate your habit. So anything which is available at this thought stage or feeling stage, if you become aware at that particular stage, it is easy for you to change your actions and change your habits and change your life. But once your habit deeply ingrained, it becomes part of your addictions. You become addictive of it. Maybe smoking, maybe alcohol, maybe, speaking lie millions of times without any need. So if you are aware about that stage, which we call thought stage or feeling, it's easy to transform. We can take the example, so many times we get angry. Anger is having 3 stages. During the stage, pre and post stage, 99% people get aware during the post-hypnotic stage. And after that, you get angry, you become regret. If you become aware before getting angry, it's easy to transform the energy of your anger. Let us take an example how it is possible. This is a very practical solution which we call classical conditioning of mind to transform your life, to change your life. Take an A4 size of paper, and if you are a very angry person, write it down. Am I getting angry? And the secret behind this template is a big question mark. You paste it on your office, you paste it on your bedroom, wherever you spend your maximum time, and keeps on asking these questions. Am I getting angry? क्या मुझे गुस्सा आ रहा है? और ये सवाल आप जितना अपने आप से जितनी ज्यादा पूछते हैं, ये आपकी माइंड की कंडीशनिंग के, आपके माइंड के प्रोग्राम को चेंज करता है. You can use any kind of quotes. If you are impatient, you can write it down. Am I impatient? If you are very jealous, you can write out. If you are addictive of something, you can write it down. Am I poisoning myself? You can use any sort of quote, but it changes the programming of your mind. It changes your thought process. It keeps on pimping you. It keeps on asking questions. Am I getting angry? And the moment you ask these questions brings you this particular moment. And if you are aware in this particular moment, it becomes very difficult for you to get angry. And this is what the self-transformation is. You might have heard a very famous story of Angulimal and Gautam Buddha. When Gautam Buddha was passing and Angulimal was very famous dictator, he keeps on cutting the fingers of every person who is passing thereby. Buddha heard about him. His disciples asked him, don't go to near him. He will kill you also. Buddha said, I would like to transform that man. He went to this, he just reaching towards that man. That man warned Buddha, don't come near me, otherwise I'll kill you. Buddha said, okay, if you want to kill me, you can kill me, but before killing me, can you cut this small branch of this big tree? Angulimal said, it's not a very big deal. I can, do it instantly. He put his great sword and put a sword on the branch of a tree, the branch of the tree falling on the earth. Buddha said, great. But can you again connect? Can you again join this branch of the tree and make it live? Angulimal said, no, it's not possible. Buddha said, if you cannot make live a small leaf or a small branch of a tree, what right do you have of killing of millions of people? This was a statement of a Buddha, and that entire man got transformed. He immediately fallen on the feet of the Buddha and become disciple of him. My dear friends, it's easy to talk, but real transformation takes place only when you apply all these things in your day-to-day life. Maybe you are getting angry, or so many times it happens, you are not aware. Am I aware? You can ask your questions millions of times. You can paste it. क्या मैं इस समय अपना काम होशपूर्वक कर रहा हूँ? Am I aware? So if you're not aware, then so many times it happens, you react, and so many times you respond. You need to check whether I'm reacting or responding. If you are responding, you are transforming. If you are responding, giving and connecting with yourself, you are changing your life. But if you are reacting, reaction is mindless, response is mindful. So check your actions in terms of reactions or responses. That is going to change your life. And not of the least, 3 to 4 important things which you've already discussed, and I'll conclude my session with that. If you are self-aware, means whether you are aware about yourself or not, whatsoever you are doing, either thinking or talking or speaking, what kind of diet you take, as Aftab sir talk about. Diet is not only what you eat, it is something, we have 5 senses, and whatsoever information you take from outside world to inside, that all becomes part of your diet. Since morning to evening, what you are watching, that also become part of your diet. Since morning to evening, what you are listening, that also become part of your diet. The kind of environment, the kind of friend circle, the kind of company you have, that all becomes part of your diet. So diet is not only what you eat, what you see, what you look, what you live, and what you listen, that all becomes part of your diet. And similarly, diet is important. So you need to check what is your diet. You need to check whether you're aware or not. You need to check your energy level, the formula which I have shown you. If you can easily transform your negative energy into positive, right from checking whether you are aware in this particular moment or not. How you breathe, this is really important. How you breathe, because the data I'll show you, it's very important. The different species, they breathe in a different rate, and then the lifespan is different. We as a human being breathe 16 times in a minute, 12 to 16 times in a minute, and our lifespan is 70 to 80 years. And the whale and tortoise, their breath is very slow, and their lifespan is very high. What is it? What the conclusion is, the more our breath would be deep, the more our breath would be stable, you would be more healthy. So you can immediately transform your emotions. You can immediately transform your energy by changing your breath. If your breath is slow, if your breath is deep, and if your breath is full stomach, instantly you are going to change your life. So you have to check out your breathing pattern. You have to check out whether you are self-aware or not. You have to check out your diet. You have to check it. Meditation. Meditation is the medicine for your mind. Meditation can transform your life like anything. And it's not necessary that you have to meditate at particular fixed time. You have to meditate, in a particular fixed posture. Since last 15 or 20 minutes, since last 1 hour, if you are connected to me, if you are listening, if you're not hearing, if you are listening totally, if you are present physically and mentally, you are meditative with listening. You can be meditative with singing. You can be meditative with dancing. You can be meditative with any act whatsoever you do in this particular moment with your totality. You become meditative with it. Meditative is so simple. But you have to bring your totality to transform. And last but not the least, auto suggestion, which has been discovered by Dr. Emile in 1910, it talks about which kind of feedback, which kind of suggestion you give yourself, which kind of feedback you give to yourself, which kind of thoughts you inculcate to yourself. So before going to sleep and the moment you woke up, if you are giving positive auto suggestion to yourself, yes, I can do it. Yes, no one can stop me. Yes, I am the one. Yes, I am aware. Yes, if you get angry, yes, I am getting angry, but I want to transform myself. So these 4 to 5, very small, very reluctant, very easy, but what is required, you need to put your totality, you need to make yourself aware, you need to break your mechanical patterns, because boss, you are not robot, you are live human being. Just bring slowness. Whatsoever you do, either you are eating or you're dancing or singing or walking, just bring a small change inside in, and that bring change and the pauses can transform your life. So once again, with these 2 lines, I'm going to end of my sessions, which is conclusion of my today's sessions. Although these lines are in Hindi, but this is the crux, that कि सिर्फ ख्वाहिशों से नहीं गिरते हैं फूल झोली में. Just by making desires, you are not going to get what you want in your life. सिर्फ ख्वाहिशों से नहीं गिरते हैं फूल झोली में, कर्म की साख को हिलाना होगा. You have to work hard. कि सिर्फ ख्वाहिशों से नहीं गिरते हैं फूल झोली में, कर्म की साख को हिलाना होगा, और कुछ नहीं होगा कोसने से अंधेरों को. मेरी फैमिली ठीक नहीं है, मेरी कंडीशन ठीक नहीं है, मेरी सिचुएशन ठीक नहीं है. If you are throwing all your responsibility on the shoulders of others, it is not going to change. Abraham Lincoln, when he elected as the president of USA, first time when he entered into the Senate, and the moment he started speaking, one member stood up and he said, Mr. President, don't forget that your father used to make shoes for us, shoes for our family. Lincoln replied very intelligently. He said, thank you very much for reminding me that my father used to make shoes for your family, but I'm quite sure these shoes are not biting in your legs, they are biting in your minds. That's why you are talking like this. कि सिर्फ ख्वाहिशों से नहीं गिरते हैं फूल झोली में, कर्म की साख को हिलाना होगा, और कुछ नहीं होगा कोसने से अंधेरों को, अपने हिस्से का दिया खुद ही जलाना होगा. If you want to change your life, you have to enlighten. You have to bring these things into your life to change your life. Thank you very much, Mr. Indra Bhuvanji. Thank you very much, Dr. Meeta Shah. Thank you very much, all the people. Thank you very much who were connected with us physically as well as mentally. If you really got some sort of experience, if you started small things, that is going to change your life instantly. You don't need to wait for long. Immediately you can do it. And this is not I'm sharing something which is theoretical. It is part of my own practical experience. Thank you very much for inviting me such a wonderful and beautiful conference on this occasion. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such an amazing session, Mr. Pankaj Rai. We are truly blessed to have you with us here today. All I can say about this session is that, number one, the presentation was wonderful. You had tried your level best to cover all the topics in a very beautiful way, especially the picture of 2 girls, which was like telling us that the one girl is present in the moment and the other girl is engrossed all in her thoughts. That picture was too nice, and it was really the best part in the whole presentation. Then the various tips that you gave to which can actually help us in transforming ourselves. These tips, they just revolve around 4 words. One was the breathing pattern that we need to follow. The other was following auto-suggestion. You concentrated more and more upon totality. And lastly, meditation. You have concentrated, and not only you, the other speakers also, they have also concentrated on meditation. So the common thing between the 3 speakers that we have up till now is the term meditation. So thank you for this session. And now I would like to call upon our next speaker, Dr. Sanjay Tewari from Jabalpur. Over to you, sir.
No, ma'am. Again, is not here.
He's not here?
Yes.
So what should we do, sir?
Indra Bhuvan, sir.
Can you check with
Indra
him?
Bhuvan, sir?
Makanji, have you passed the message to him?
Should I call him, sir?
Yes, I'm calling to him.
Mr. Pankaj, we had amazing, you spoke very well. It was amazingly, you have specs expressed about, it was a fantastic speech by you. Aapne jo kaha ke, one of your last slides, I would like to summarize because we have a little bit of time, we can keep the audience engaged. अगर इंसान की सोच बदलती है तो उसका नजरिया बदलता है, अगर उसका नजरिया बदलता है तो उसका रवैया बदलता है, और अगर उसका रवैया बदलता है तो अमल बदलता है यानी एक्शन, और अगर एक्शन बदलता है तो फिर डेस्टिनी बदलती है, नतीजा बदलता है. I think so the last slide what you have shown with the seed and plant, I was just trying to summarize it. So see the beautiful link between your thought process. आपकी सोच बदलेगी तो आपका नजरिया बदलेगा, यानी कि आपका कॉन्सेप्ट्स एंड थ्योरीज अगर वो बदलता है आपका तो आपका रवैया, your attitude, your behavior, and if that changes, it changes your action, and if your action changes, your destiny changes. So it was very well expressed, Mr. Pankaj. It was amazing slide.
Thank you very much, sir. I reminded a few more lines कि किसी ने कहा है ना कि असफलता एक चुनौती है, इसे स्वीकार करो, क्या कमी रह गई देखो और सुधार करो, क्योंकि बिना मेहनत के जय जयकार नहीं होती और कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. You have to make effort. And the important thing which you need is your effort should be mindful, because effort to sabhi lagate. Everyone put effort. But you get success when you put effort from your mind, heart, and totality. You have to put your heartful effort. You have to be involved totality. So many times it happens when Einstein used to discover something, he used to forget what is the breakfast time, what is the lunch time. So many times it happens. There was a very famous dancer, Nijinsky. When he used to perform on the stage, you leap bound dance. He used to uplift himself, 6 to 7 inches above the floor. He just crossed the gravitational force and transform it gravitational into levitational force. They transform their energy, and that is possible. You become so light when you are motivated. You become so light when you are positive. You become so relaxed when you are in the moment. But you become heavy when you greedy. You become heavy when you frustrated. You become heavy when you are a little bit of anger. So transformation is instant, but it depends what kind of effort and how much effort and which state of mind you are applying your effort. It does instantly. Indra Bhuvan sir, would you like to talk something on?
Yes, sir. It was really your amazing presentation. We are amazed, and I become speechless. And a wonderful way of presenting things, especially your two examples. One example you given this full of mind and mindful, that two girls who was roaming inside the garden. So it shows that how we can control our emotions, how we can control our things. It's all, if you want to change the world, first we have to change ourselves.
Yes.
First we have to change ourselves. It's from inner. Even and the number two things, what you mentioned very clearly, this all self transformation This all self-actualization. This is achieved by better coordination of mind, body, and brain. These three things should work. These three things should work together: mind, body, and brain. And which I feel personally in current time, especially for our young generation people all across the world, not only in India or Africa, people are lacking here. Somebody has very good mind, but his brain is not in that proportion. But even somebody has a good brain, but his soul is not in that proportion. So what we require, there should be proper balance. There should be proper coordination between mind, body, and brain. And which I think so, self-transformation can start. If somebody has better control, if somebody has better coordination on these three things, I think so, he can transform himself. And then world can be changed. So this, I think, is a very amazing presentation, Pankaj sir. We are really amazed and very beautiful way of presenting the things.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, because the moment your body, mind, and consciousness, they are in a harmony, immediately you become aware. This is what the self-awareness is. And if you are self-aware, you will not do anything which is destructive. If you are self-aware, you will not do anything which is against the society. If you are self-aware, you will not do anything which is against your individuality. It is about your individual being. How much because you know what is right and wrong. Because most of the people who committed murders and rapes, they are not aware. Psychologists has been found out they are not aware at that moment what they are doing. So if a person is self-aware, the possibility of committing mistakes and possibility of committing wrongdoing reduces by 90 folds. So it's something which is root, because we reap what we sow. So if we are reaping something negative thoughts inside it, definitely it is going to transform into forms of your physical being. It reflects in your action, it reflects in your words. So many times you might have heard people talk lie, people talk bad words, which is not at all required. But a single word is having its two meaning. One is it's having its logical meaning, and another its emotional feeling, which is deep inside the unconscious mind, the picture which I have shown you. Every word is having its relevant significance of logical and emotional feeling inside us. The kind of words which we use in our day-to-day life, that give a deep impact in our personality, and which is the basic foundation of neuro-linguistic programming. If you really would like to change the programming of your mind or brain, you need to change your words. And the moment you change your words, it is going to change the emotions and relevant thoughts with it. So that's really important, the kind of word we use in our day-to-day life.
I second you, Mr. Pankaj, because the most important thing is the selection of your words. I will give you one example, which is a very good example given by our ex-president, Dr. APJ Kalam. When he was a child, he was climbing a tree in his village with his cousin, So there was a wind. Hawa tez chalne lagi, and their parents came out. So his father told him, or your mother, that hold it tightly, zor se pakdo. और जो उसकी cousin थी, उसके father ने कहा, don't fall, गिरना मत. That girl fell down. So, the kind of words we use in front of our children, the kind of things we talk in front of our children, it goes into their subconscious mind. And subconscious mind is the mind which drives us. It becomes so strong, in number of years, that it controls us. So as parents, as teachers, we should educate our children, the new generation, that, dismantle, decode that, negative kind of, the subconscious mind, which has been built from years and years. And that is one of the important thing, which controls our emotions. हम कहते हैं अपने बच्चों से, आप ये काम ना करो, उसको इतना नुकसान हो गया. Do that thing, that is a success. But unfortunately, what happens, we are giving examples of those who have failed. A child has not failed. We are giving bad examples. So as you have rightly said, that, selecting the words is very important. We should select, positive words in front of a child from the beginning. We should not do gossiping of our relatives. Sometimes I have heard, the kind of gossiping gets on in the families, and it distorts the images of the relatives. It creates a lot of bad impact. So this is very important, as you've rightly said. You have to choose your words very intelligently.
Yes, sir. Aftab sir, it's very correct. I would like to share a very small story. You might have heard about Thomas Alva Edison, the great scientist who has invented more than 400 patents. Was there? He is the inventor of electricity. थॉमस एल्वा एडिसन जब छोटे थे, जब वो एक बार उनके टीचर ने उनको क्लास से भगा दिया और कहा कि देयर इज नो नीड फ्रॉम टुमारो ऑनवर्ड्स, यू डोंट कम एट माय क्लास फ्रॉम टुमारो ऑनवर्ड्स, यू हैव बीन सस्पेंडेड फ्रॉम द स्कूल. एंड ही हैज गिवन वन लेटर टू थॉमस एल्वा एडिसन और कहा कि ये लेटर अपनी मदर को देना और कल से स्कूल मत आना. दैट चाइल्ड वाज स्टार्टेड क्राइंग. ही वेंट टू हिज मदर और मदर को उसने वो लेटर दिया. उसकी मदर ने वो लेटर खोला और कहा कि व्हाई आर यू क्राइंग बेबी? Your teacher has appreciated you. Your teacher has said you are very intelligent. Your IQ is above 160. You are so creative. So this class doesn't belong to you. This class doesn't belong to you. I'll admit you in some different school which would be, equivalent to your intellectual level. So the child who were crying earlier started laughing. He becomes so happy. And through his entire life, his mother keeps on motivating the change of words, the change of statements, which she has given feeded inside this small child. And when his mother died and he has become almost 70-80 years, this Thomas Alva Edison, great scientist, all of a sudden one day he was searching something and he found that letter into almirah which his teacher given to him when he was 5 years old. And the moment he has opened this letter, he started crying like anything, because in that letter it was written, your child is MR, mentally retarded. Your child is below its IQ. Your child is not in a position to study with these normal childs. So that is why I'm firing him off. You kindly admitted him in some MR school. That was actually written, and his mother changed the word, and this change of word transformed his life like anything. And he's become a brilliant scientist. This is the power and magic of thoughts, words, feedback. And suppose if you are, अगर एक बच्चे को हम कहते हैं कि तुम ये नहीं कर सकते, तुम वो नहीं कर सकते हो, you are duffer, you can't do this. After a particular time, his unconscious or subconscious mind accepted. His mind has become conditioned to it. So I'm really sorry. I have taken a lot of time, but although the discussion, Aftab sir has initiated very great discussion. So कई बार होता है कि we also started talking from the hearts, and most of the time, whenever I start, I used to forget when I have to stop. So it's been a great evening, and one of the biggest present on my birthday. So we talked a lot of positive things. So it is going to transform all those lives which are really connected on this virtual world. Thank you.
Same here, sir.
Sir, now I would like to call upon our host for this webinar, Mr. Indra Bhuvan Kumar Singh, to propose a vote of thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. It was really indeed a very fantastic session. I can say it's a mesmerizing session, and by looking all this presentation and thought process and their opinions, one thing I can say in a nutshell, this session theme was self-transformation, and rightly said by almost all our guest speakers, Aftab sir, Pankaj sir, Professor Raina sir. The basic requirement is our inner, ourself. That's highly required. Even in the morning when I spoke to Aftab sir, then he asked me, tell me about your book, because I wrote this book recently. And which things forced me to write this book, Self-Transformation. I was going through this, new channels in the past when the lockdown started in India, and people said, become house arrest in their houses, because of all these traveling restrictions, no flight, no train, no bus. And then again, the another problem is this
I think Indra Bhuvan sir has disconnected.
Yeah, seems to be that there's
Yes.
some
Yes,
disconnection.
sir, yes. Due to some networks.
Okay. Anyway, I think till he again rejoin, I would like to welcome Rena sir. Rena sir, can you have a few words with us till Indra Bhuvan sir rejoin us?
Well, thank you very much, Pankaj ji, and also Aptab ji. It's nice meeting you, and on your special day, that's your birthday. There's a saying that great people were born on in the month of October, actually. Mahatma Gandhi, Lal Bahadur Shastri, and APJ Abdul Kalam ji. And we have got Pankaj ji, and we got so many great personalities actually. Even there are a lot of cricketers also. They were born in October month. So that's indeed nice to know you and Pankaj ji and Aftab ji. Wonderful thought process and wonderful insights that you shared. It's indeed a great privilege and great opportunity for us to get connected with. I think Indra Bhavanji is back. Indra Bhavanji, you can unmute yourself and
Yeah, you can unmute yourself. Yes.
we lost in between and we are just chatting, to cover up. So let me unmute myself now.
sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. Yeah, please.
Yeah, so sorry. I think so the network has gone. I'm extremely sorry for that. Yeah. So what I was trying to tell, this is a really informative session, wonderful, amazing, and which this book which I wrote, this all which I received the responses in last 6 to 9 months from this COVID pandemic situation, and I felt it really very bad when I'm Indian and even in my country when people are claiming I am from this state, I am from that state, so it felt very bad. Above all, we are human beings. We are Indians. My identity is only Indian, no any state. When I'm coming out of the country, who am I? Is it I'm telling someone I'm from Bihar or I'm from Uttar Pradesh or no? My passport is Republic of India. So this thing very forced me. Why people means some inner politics? Okay, that can be considerable, but we should not come to that part where humanity should be suffered, because we all are human beings. Before any designation, before any kind of profile, we all are human beings. Either somebody working as a CEO, somebody is working as a CFO, or somebody is working as a MD, whatever. We all are human beings, and we should have respect for the humanity. That is the essence of life. And these all things I put in my book also. Like I put some great example of these three things which Pankaji also rightly said in his presentation. This all self transformation is the great combination of mind, body, and brain. If these all three things work together, then you can transform yourself. Otherwise, it's impossible. It's impossible. These all three things to work together. They should go parallel to parallel. Otherwise, it's impossible. So self transformation is possible only by ourselves, by your inner heart. If our inner self is accepting, then you can create a difference. And people are telling, I'm going to change the world, I will do that one. I don't think so. This is the way. If you want to change the world, first change yourself. First, we have to see inside. Because I would like to give my own example. I'm very, very open person, sir. I'm improving every day, which I believe every day is a learning process. And learning is a continuous process. It's a never ending. It's a never ending process. And people should be very humble, very, very polite, and always try to become very active listener. If you are active listener, then you are going to get, and then you can replicate those things in your life. Even when I was in my school and college, I used to be very, very short-tempered, and my response was very fast, very, very highly reactive. But down the line, slowly, slowly, when I understand the gravity of things, I modified myself. I changed myself. So this change is the need of the hour, and change is part of the self-transformation. Self-transformation is a very natural process, very, very natural. And it happens in everybody part of life. In terms of, if you take the example of life of a pearl, pearl is a very natural example of transformation. If anybody can go into history. So these kind of things, which I personally feel the need of the hour, where our young generations should understand the importance. And it's not like this only, this is the theoretical session. They can take something from here, from all our eminent speakers. Aftab sir rightly said, it's the intellectual things. You should have spirituality. When people are intellectual, they have a sense of doing right or wrong, do's and don'ts. Then they can take a right decision. That's called our culture. That's called our tradition. India is famous for their culture. That is our strength. That is our, we can say that, gift from the God, from our parents. Same thing as Professor Rana sir rightly said. He has given some example of the neurons. 1.2 billion is a mental problem in this world right now, out of 7 billion population. So it's not a problem. What I feel, it is a disorder. It is something missing in this chain. So what we have to do, we have to create the proper ecosystem, proper balancing between all the neurons. Then something can be come out, positive can be come out. It's all about perception. It's all about change of mind. It's very simple. If you see half glass is full of water and half glass is empty, it depends on your perception. If you are an optimistic person, you'll tell that this is full of full of water, half full. If it is a pessimistic person, he's going to tell you it's a half empty. So it's all about your attitude. It's all about your thought process, how you are looking at the opportunity. And this Pankaj Rai sir rightly said the great example of full of mind and mindful. It was really, really amazing example, sir. I can say that. And last but not the least, I would like to pay my heartiest thanks to my colleague, Professor Makhan sir, as a technical coordinator who arranged all this webinar. He was the technical person. And ma'am, the presenter of this webinar, Professor Mita Shah ma'am, for their wonderful arrangement, for their wonderful appearance and presentation, and host this webinar. And last but not the least, my all the audience, my all these YouTube friends and followers, and my social media friends all across the world. Thank you so much from my bottom of heart for your wonderful time, for your precious time. And a special thanks to my all guest speakers. They accepted my invitation in a very, very short notice time. Even they not asked me, and they accepted immediately. All the Aftab sir, Pankaj Rai sir, this Rena sir, Sanjay Tewari sir. So once again, thank you so much from my bottom of heart. And now we'd like to go for, I think so. If anything is missing, you can tell us.
National anthem, sir.
Yeah. Now the time for national
we'll end
anthem.
It formally by a national anthem.
Yeah, and after national anthem, we are going to close this session.
Leave this, yes, sir.
Yeah.
We need to stand for this national anthem.
Yes, yes, yes.
मैम साउंड नहीं आ रहा है क्या?
साउंड नहीं आ रही है शायद कुछ.
एक मिनट. सॉरी फॉर इनकन्वीनियंस.
माका साहब साउंड देख लीजिएगा.
एक मिनट. Sir, might be possible driver is not working, sir.
Okay, no issue at all.
Yes.
It's okay. It's okay. No
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chandra Bhavan. Dr. Meeta, you're an amazing anchor,